Hello, Guardians. Coming to you from the last city on Earth, it's the Guardian Lounge. I'm your host and Titan enthusiast, Krissa, otherwise known as Lady Hawkmoon, and I've brought some friends with me to talk about our history with Destiny. Before we get started, let's introduce our co-hosts. First, we have Lady Isla Rose.
Hey, I'm Lady Ilaros. I'm the resident warlock of this party.
Then we have Sir Slips.
Well, what's up, gamers? We're back at it again after indeterminate amount of time. I'm the other Titan main here.
Then we have AMD Cranberry.
Hey guys, it's Amber. I am the resident hunter. So if you need anything long range, I'm your gal.
And our illustrious editor, Minnie.
The British boy is back. He is also a hunter main and wishes he had a drink.
You could have fixed that.
Sounds like fun.
No, a drink.
Fair.
Sticking in character here.
Oh yeah.
Just one drink, yes. And
The mere concept of drink.
Today we'll be doing a year in review of the story in Destiny 2. Starting with Shadowkeep and moving through until Season of the Worthy. But don't worry, next time we'll talk about Season of Arrivals and what the future holds with our thoughts on Beyond Light. So, let's jump into it. First, starting in Shadowkeep, Eris is back with more bad news about the darkness and the hive and all that good Eris-related stuff. What did you think of Eris, the side missions that deal with her trauma, and do you think your guardian might deal with some of those same ghosts that haunted her?
Man, boy howdy, there's a lot to unpack in Shadowkeep. There's a lot.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of implications as well related to the darkness, because it seems to be that pyramid has been here basically since the collapse.
Well, let's start with what was your reaction to the first time you saw the pyramid? You just got down into that canyon rock place, and then you turn a corner, giant pyramid.
Oh my God.
This is not good.
Yeah, no, I was just like, shit.
Yeah, like staring at just like, holy
no.
shit.
I love the way they programmed that. It was beautiful because when you turn that corner, it cancels your sprint. Whether or not you want it to, it cancels it for you. So you have to take a second to be like, oh, it's the bad shape.
You literally have to stop short and be like, oh, right. Spooked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go inside of that.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, I have to go in now? No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I think that was the first time in the entire game where I was like, no, I don't want to do that. That's a bad idea.
What are you doing to my ghost?
Now, in relation to Eris, though, I was really excited to see Eris again. My hunter, Rhea Odne. Sorry, I meant Titan. Excuse me. My Titan is a big Eris stan. Yeah, Eris and Rhea BFFs for life. Big homies. You know, if nothing else, she suffered a lot and deserves a friend. And we solidified that position a little bit with the memory quests. If you think that's what they were called. Yeah, the stuff getting those nightmares of her fire team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant by dealing with her trauma, because each of them was tied to an immense amount of guilt.
Absolutely. I think that my character being an Awoken would have at least a little bit of that, especially after Forsaken, because she is around people that are basically family, or at least extended family. Every Awoken all the Awokens were seemingly in one place originally. Because, I mean, that's how they got, that's how the Awoken were created, was in Exodus Green, if I remember correctly. And then, like, the Dreaming City is basically a part of their, like, major culture. And then after that, it's just when you become a guardian, you lose all that. But then now she's back here, and it's like some of these people probably recognize her. She has no idea who any of these people are. So It's I don't know if that's the same, but it at least would make her probably real not comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm happy we could kind of give her some closure. Like Eris deserves something good in her life for all
Yeah.
that she tries to, she's the one that seems to know what's up, and Zavala is finally coming around and actually listening to her, which is helpful. So she deserves that closure. I was happy to be able to give her that closure that she needed.
I definitely think stemming from Destiny 1, we get a lot of references to what we're experiencing in her trauma when we finally get to go through the memories and help her with her closure. There's a lot of references made in Destiny 1 to the events that we get to experience in Destiny 2, and I really kind of feel like it brings us back full circle and really helps us understand why she is the way that she is, and especially helps us understand why she was the way that she was in Destiny 1. You know, in Destiny 1, she was just a character that seemed kind of eccentric and really creepy and spooky. But then when you realize, all the trauma that she's been alluding to in Destiny 1, like what actually happened, it's actually quite powerful, and I feel like it really connects you more to her than you did previously in the first game.
Hmm.
Bring me the eyes, Guardian.
Oh god.
No, I feel like we got to
Never
actually
forget.
know Eris as Eris and not just this Cassandra spouting prophecies in the tower
Hmm.
Right.
during
Yeah.
Shadowkeep.
Yeah, no, Shadowkeep definitely, for lack of a better word, humanized her more, made her
Mhm.
more relatable. Like in
Which
Destiny 1 we knew we in Destiny 1 we knew she'd seen some shit and been through some shit. But she was still like just doing her own thing and really just keeping us at arm's length.
Fair. I don't
Mhm.
blame her for not trusting humans or just anyone.
Anyone?
Yeah.
I don't think it
Yeah.
was necessarily just trust, but also she was afraid to make connections with people because of how many people that she had lost due to what she felt like was her own actions and was her fault. Well, you wouldn't want to get close to anybody else because you wouldn't want that to happen to them too.
Yeah.
So her kookiness was almost like a facade to kind of push people away so that way she could keep them at arm's length and not have that happen, or at least not feel the trauma of that happening again.
Yeah, which is very true because Eris Crota took everything from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you definitely experience that by giving her back all the trinkets of her long lost friends. And do you think that your guardians kind of deal with something simple or similar, having lost people in their lives and now they have a tremendous amount of guilt that they carry as well?
I mean, I think
Maybe in this universe, we also have a book called The Things They Carry,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, that
a
book.
very sad
Man,
book.
I mean, I don't think Astarte is ever going to get over the fact that she wasn't able to save Cade.
yeah.
Like, I think that that's the biggest trauma. Like, Cade was one of the Vanguard, and you think of the Vanguard as being these amazing, untouchable guardians, and having one of the Vanguard die essentially in your arms. That's we abandon almost being a guardian to get vengeance for that, and that's I think a lot of there's a lot to unpack there as how do you get over that.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
go ahead.
No, go on, you first.
So, since I'm a hunter, I feel that Cade's death really hit my character really hard. He was our leader. He was, the person who represented us in the tower, and all of a sudden he's gone. And, that representation is gone. That friend, that mentor is just all of a sudden gone. And there's really no replacement for him. And that was really traumatizing for her and for a lot of the hunters and just in general.
Yeah, like my hunter's pretty similar, but given he was already predisposed to the drink, It's Cade's death certainly didn't help matters. Definitely drowns his sorrows a fair amount of the time.
If nothing else, Cade is probably. You could argue that Cade feels like a failure of ours for
Mm.
to an extent. Not necessarily because of us not being able to do anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if some people have kind of felt that way, or at the very least that our guardians could interpret it like that.
Survivor's
Well,
guilt.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Same
exactly what it
similar
is.
to how Eris feels about
Yeah,
probably her fire team.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And
well, that
also,
brings up something that the darkness said as in the last mission, where we're introduced to the darkness itself. It brings up the second, I think it's the second nightmare that we fight, where they say that the light failed Cade and they
Yes.
blame it on the traveler. So we were introduced to the darkness as our saviors in that mission. How did you feel about that mission and that last scene? And what do you think your guardian's reaction will be to the darkness offering us help and continuing to do so throughout this year and into the future?
all right, all y'all should go ahead first because I'm going to put on my spin foil hat for mine.
It was
I've got some long
shocking.
game theories here.
Oh, it was shocking to see myself as the darkness. Like that visual of you are the light, but you are also the darkness. I think that's an incredible piece of symbolism that I'm really interested to see where they go with.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
creepy seeing my guardian smile
That
because
was
I
creepy.
don't think she smiles very often, like on a mission. And then all of a sudden there's like this reflection of herself spouting a bunch of things about we'll be your savior, we'll save you from whatever's going on. And it's like, but you're what I need saving from. How that gonna work?
There's a lot of
See,
going on here.
I sort of looked at it as like, well, has anybody here played the Persona series?
No,
No.
I have a general
Okay.
understanding of what it is.
So in Persona 4 onwards, there was a concept of shadows being basically the mirror image of the person in question, but like all their deep down feelings and emotions and all that kind of stuff. So, whereas somebody may seem like, very cheerful and happy on the outside, may secretly just hate everything on the inside.
Hmm.
That's how I kind of saw it. As in, like, that's how my hunter would have reacted. Like, you're not me. What's going on here? Why are you saying that? Why are you spouting that crap?
Yeah. I mean, so initially in that fever dream in the Black Garden, or projection, or what hallucination, or whatever it was, because I don't think we were actually taken there. Uh, the darkness spoke to us as us. It seems like the darkness doesn't have its own form because, and I'm basing this off of when Oryx met with the darkness, he had like the corpse of an ogre with him, so the darkness could commune through the ogre.
Hmm.
That's how we
Mhm.
learned how to take, was that conversation. It seems like the darkness is like formlessness in its purest form, or it, long complicated details that aren't.
Or at least, like, it's an entity that has no physical manifestation on our plane of existence.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think that is probably what it is as well. With the
Almost
dark.
like the nine.
Oh, oh God! I hope it's not. I hope the nine aren't like. I
I
think
don't think they're
the
the
nine are
darkness.
probably. Yeah, no, the nine are probably their own thing that is just on the edge of everything. But the dark I spinfoil hat theory that has established only after season of arrivals. So I'll try not to talk too much about it because we're trying to get our experience during Shadowkeep, I assume.
Hmm.
And initially, I was like, okay, these are the bad guys, and they're taunting us because they've been here this whole time and they've known most of our secrets, and they know us because they've seen us struggle, like with the Red War, which we could also feel guilty for,
Oh yeah.
Cade, and so much of it is so much of it has like just been with us, but just humanity in general is something that the darkness probably I thought then was something they see as a non-issue, seemingly. So
Well, they don't. The traveler is what they see as the issue.
Yeah,
yeah, but
yes.
we do harness the traveler's powers to an
Mhm.
extent.
Which is why we are part of the problem.
Absolutely. Which is, but they can. The salvation seems to imply they think they can change our mind.
I mean, not to talk too much into the future content, but Stasis looks cool. They might change my mind.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the spin foil hat is that's if we remember, I forget if they talked about it in this season or in Shadowkeep with the arrivals, like the no them or the unveiling book. That was it. Was it there that they talked about the game that they play,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
wager?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I
The
My
think so.
so the
essentially
wager. Oh,
it's
you go
just
ahead.
dark, and we're just playing pieces.
Yes. What's important in relation to us, in my theory, is that the darkness's win state is convincing us to choose the darkness. It's not defeating us because it wants us to choose to adapt the sword logic and change our belief system.
Yeah, like once they have us, that's it. They won because then we're just we're tied to them.
Yeah, I think they could
Uh,
obliterate us if they wanted to, but that won't be the real win state of this
I
bet.
don't know if it's adapting to the sword logic because they
Yeah.
aren't tied to the sword logic. That's the worms.
Okay. Sorry, that's my bad. I
But yeah,
get that
no, for
mixed
us
up.
to choose them, for us, the win is. I like your theory that win is not
Yeah.
destroy the world. Win is get the guardians on my side instead of the traveler.
Yeah, if they can convince if the winnower can convince the gardener to the gardener's people to abandon them when the gardener has chosen us as its ultimate life form that will make its own fate and choose. Presumably, the bet is now when presented with all kinds of power, we will still choose the light.
Which I find interesting now because the enemy type that the darkness will be inhabiting in the next season is the Fallen. And the Fallen had the Traveler, and the Traveler left them.
Yeah.
So it's very. I think your theory makes sense. I think it's a sound theory to go off of.
I stole a little bit of it from Destiny Lore subreddit, but yeah.
No, I mean that's
Well,
resources.
they always tinfoil had, so.
Oh yeah. But as soon as I read most of that, I was like, oh, that just makes so much sense.
But it's also like so to not to get too far off track, but I've been reading a lot of Star Wars lately, and it's also a lot the light side and the dark side of the Force.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dark side is the quick way to power, but it's wrapped up in emotions and fear and hate and all these things. But whereas the light side is when you're at peace. And I feel like that the darkness is tempting us with that. This is quick power. This
Mm-hmm.
is power that's connected to the anger that you have. The Red War, Cade. Harness us instead of the traveler, and we will make you invincible.
I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I would talk more about it and the theory because it relates as well to prophecy, but we'll save that for the next episode.
There's definitely a mirroring between this and Star Wars in the sense that there's more power to be gained by the darkness, that we join sides rather than just destroying us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that you get into that a little bit, in the Gray Jedi, and if you really get into the extended lore.
Oh boy.
Yeah, well, that's
any of that,
whole other podcast.
I don't even think any of that's canon anymore.
See, the whole idea of like taking and using the darkness's power, at least for my hunch, is a bit like it's tempting because he is all about having more power.
Mm-hmm.
I think that my
But
guardian's very pragmatic, and so if some being offers up power, it's less about I feel more powerful and more about I have this tool that I can use to do
Yeah.
something that I would like to do or to protect somebody. It could come in useful. And so it's like I might take what you're offering just because I don't see it as something dangerous.
It would be more like an anti-hero kind of aspect to
Are
it.
we gonna get edgy?
I'm the Punisher.
Oh, we're gonna get so edgy.
Oh,
Yeah.
really awesome.
Let me go get my Linkin Park MP3 album.
Oh,
Oh, don't
I'm
bring
so
that up.
excited.
That's high school all over again.
Oh goodness.
I'll get out my Breaking Benjamin album too. Don't worry. Really round it out. All right, what's
Well,
next?
before we get too far into the darkness, which
The
will
weed.
definitely be hitting up next episode, Season of the Undying came afterward, and with it was the return of the Vex, because we found that triangle of the moon. So these Vex are back. They want to worship the darkness and the Undying Mind, and the Vex are trying to take back the Black Garden, which is the storyline from Destiny 1, like the original Destiny 1 story that we were like, is this leading anywhere? And we're going to hold them off until Ikora finishes her master plan. Was it exciting to get this completion to the Black Garden mission from Destiny 1?
I like that they were finally able to. To kind of metagame a little bit. I know that Destiny 1 had a lot of executive meddling, and the story was supposed to be deeper than it was. So I'm wondering how much of this was Bungie finally going, we can tell the story we wanted to tell.
That's an interesting thing that's something that's very interesting about what would Destiny look like if that tale was told the way it was originally meant to be. I can't even pretend to guess. There's a lot there that we don't know about. I assume a lot of it changed to the point that they can't keep it exactly the same, but I like what they did in that season, especially because Ikora did stuff.
Yes, I was so happy to see Ikora finally doing stuff.
Wait, hang on. She did stuff.
Yes,
She did a thing.
She did a
built
thing.
a portal.
She was the one that came up with the idea to build the portal. That's why it was over by her, and she was the one that you actually got to talk to Ikora. It was awesome. Like,
So happy.
I thought you meant like in Mission where she popped up and just nukes a bunch of Vex or something. I was okay. Now you're about the portal. Now I remember.
Mm-hmm.
No. Unfortunately, Ikora didn't play a part in any cutscenes or anything. What she did was you could get all that information from her. You could talk to her. And she thought up a plan. Hey, I'm going to put this portal in the tower, and we're going to kill the Undying Mind multiple times in multiple timelines to the point where it's going to be dead everywhere.
That was really cool.
Once I wrapped my brain around that, I was like, oh.
The thing that intrigues me now, this is also kind of meta. I'm intrigued by the idea of how many Undying Minds did the entire community kill?
Well, we had the interactive community quest. That's what the words I'm looking for. Where we had to kill the Undying Mind a certain amount of times. I think it was at least 1 million. I forget the exact number.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It was an amount.
It's at least 6. It's at least 7 digits, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that we've at least killed the Undying Mind in millions of timelines.
Yeah, good. I was hoping it was a humongous number. I was like, all right, cool. How many timelines are in the multiverse of Destiny? And then we have to start thinking
5.
about that, and then be like, oh no. The implications.
Oh, no.
And how many timelines did you
indefinite
visit?
amount?
14 billion something. And how many timelines did we win? 3.
You'd
What was the
expect it
number?
to be.
I said, wouldn't there be an indefinite number of timelines because
Yes.
of the way that it works? I mean, you could never technically kill the Undying Mind in all of the timelines because there would just be a new one created.
I feel like the Vex would work faster than we can at that point.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
the Vex have been doing this whole paracausal thing way longer than we have.
There's a reason why it's called the Undying Mind. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's gonna come back in a mission, and we're gonna be like, "Look here, old man."
Mhm.
Okay, boomer.
How many times do I have to teach this story, old man?
Oh Lord.
Oh man, what did your guardian think the first time they saw the actual portal beginning to be formed inside of the tower?
I
Ikora, if I lose all my stuff again, I am Nova bombing you into next week.
I probably would have had that moment of like, Ikora, you crazy son of.
Yeah.
I
It's just like, look at it. Oh, go on, Amber.
it was terrifying because if it goes wrong, it's inside the defenses.
Mhm.
There's nothing that could stop them if they came through and destroyed not just the guardians but also all of those innocent civilians that we're protecting within a matter of moments if it's not done properly. And so I think as it's being formed, you're you're just thinking, oh my gosh, what if this goes wrong, all of the million ways that this could go wrong, and how everybody's lives are at risk. I definitely think it probably the best idea to create the portal inside the tower, but that was just my guardian's opinion. She was more worried about the safety of the people that she's supposed to be protecting rather than, trying to find the fastest way to go about it. Because the reality is that it could have gone really wrong, and then we
Oh
would
God.
have run into the same thing again as we did at the beginning of Destiny 2, where everyone had to evacuate.
It was absolutely an incredible risk, especially because if the Vex, because it seemed like they teleported it into the Blackguarded from the tower every time,
Yes. That
which
was the
is
impression I got.
the implications of that is a lot, especially the idea
Like,
of getting it back out to me.
just imagine like just standing at the tower and you just nearby the portal. You just blink for a second, and for that split second, you see it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, Vex in the tower, Vex in the tower, Vex in the tower.
See, yeah, that is a little spooky for me. I kind of have to let this be one of those because video game things for me of like, how does this get there and get back? Why this seems like incredibly dangerous, and I think Rhea probably didn't care that much because she just liked killing Vex because the Vex are the big dumb. Because that was also in the time when the Vex were actually on the moon and like doing stuff, and other than like the random little groups of them now, where they were having, I forget what that public event was called.
Was it the Vex incursion?
Yeah,
Yes.
the Vex incursion.
Yes, it
when they were
was.
That
trying
was
to come
fun.
in.
I like that one, but it was a comically large amount of Vex in a giant portal in the sky.
Just
Yeah,
coming on in.
that did look pretty cool.
Yeah, there was another little
I-
thing that made the moon probably the best public zone they've had so far.
And
Besides Journey City.
it's also interesting that these Vex have a tie-in specifically with the darkness. We
Mhm.
first meet them; they're in the Black Garden, worshiping the darkness.
Oh yeah, the Soul Divisive. That was
Full divisive at the beginning. Of
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's a specific sect of the Vex that worship the darkness, isn't it?
Mhm.
yes.
And
Well,
they're back because the darkness is here.
It would make sense that if there is an infinite number of timelines, there is definitely going to be a group of Vex that worship and are involved in every single thing that's happening in the universe at some point in time, or in some alternate universe or timeline. They're going to be involved in some way, and I think that's the most terrifying thing about the Vex is that they seem like they're stupid, but they have their hand in everything, and you can't really get away from them no
I
matter
find
how
them to
you try.
be they're very I'd say Borg adjacent, or
Yeah, that's no. I've
any
always
sort
thought of
of
them as the Borg.
any sort of villain that's ever had a central mind
Mhm.
where one person leads the many. That's what they always remind me of, is that scary thing where if you lose to these creatures, you're going to lose your identity and your personhood and everything that makes you you, because they
I mean-
don't just destroy, they assimilate, they incorporate.
They're Yeah, like fundamentally, they're not too distinct from Cybermen from Doctor Who in that they are literally like a tiny little organism inside the metal exoskeleton. Because the Cyberman still has some of its human parts and it has its brain, but it's inside like a metal shell. Your basic Vex, robot suit, little goopy core that's biological.
Vex milk.
Exactly, like the little white part of the Vex is literally a living organism.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not
the
just
radial area.
robots.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of implications that are making me very uncomfortable about the radial area.
I mean, well, think about it, right? Think about it. Asher
Hmm.
is literally like what, a quarter Vex at the minute?
He has been for
Or
3
a
years,
fifth?
so at this point, I
Yeah,
think it's
like-
about the same.
Hang on, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you know, he's 1/6 Vex with his arm. So obviously, because time reasons, it's not like, you know, he's gotten worse over the 3 years D2's been out, but it stands to reason that if it played by normal time, he would have been a Vex by now.
Hmm.
Well, isn't
like, I
that
mean,
that's what happened with in the Vault of Glass? I'm forgetting the Titan's name who leaps us
Kabir.
behind the shield.
Kabir.
Yeah, that's what happened with Kabir. Is he started out a regular Titan and then eventually gets taken over by these Vex, and in his last moments decides, hey, I need to lay something down, some sort of groundwork, so that if someone comes in after me, they're able to do the thing I wasn't and stop what's happening here. Before he became a Vex.
Hmm.
Well, died, but
Well, he did drink radial area. That probably is a lot faster than falling in it, like Asher did.
it just depends. Do Awoken breathe through their skin?
I don't think I want to have this conversation right now.
Okay, right. Let's not go into Kojima territory.
Can we,
Yeah.
can we talk about Season of the Dawn now instead of Kojima?
Yes, please.
Sure. So next, we had Season of the Dawn, which brought back Osiris and a time-traveling sundial that we powered up to save Saint 14. There are also some Cabal tie-ins, because the Cabal want this time machine, but this is the first introduction of a new character in a while. What did your Guardians think of Saint, and does your Guardians' opinion differ from what you thought of Saint yourself?
Well, sorry. I had to cut in right away because
Titans first.
Titans, I'm gonna say, yeah, Titans first. Your boy is back.
I'm very
Easy on the steroids.
I'm fucking excited. I'm pumped. Saint 14 is a character that this gives me a chance also to dump on Curse of Osiris again, because Saint's half-assed, oh, he's already dead, he's been dead the whole time, wow, it's just such a ending to that arc, you know. It's just such a flat ending to this hunt for the greatest Titan of all time. You just find his corpse in the Infinite Forest. Now, the implications of them having a shrine to him is cool and has a lot of interesting little biddies there. But it's not nearly as cool as us saving him ourselves, because we were the Guardian he talked about. We were the people that he was inspired by in the Dark Age because of the sundial. And so the only reason anyone could find him is because we did it. Saint Osiris was never meant to find him. He couldn't. That's why he couldn't find him, is because it was supposed to be our job. Otherwise, he wasn't gonna be Saint. But oh my god,
I love the whole closed loop. I love that closed loop time thing that they did with that. That was so good.
That was so sweet. The corridors of time were awesome. Yeah.
Can I please talk to you about the best Titan entrance among any Titan entrance?
Yes.
When he returns to the timeline and just headbutts a Minotaur through the Minotaur, or uses the Vex to hit the other Vex.
It's the best.
Such a Titan thing.
Oh man. Dude, every time I think about that, I just think about that meme for like a year or two ago. It's like, you so fucking precious when you smile. And it's just, I just have like don't worry, Minnie, I'll send you a version of that so you can use that audio.
It's fine.
But yeah, Saint is exactly the character we needed at exactly the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Saint 14 is, in a nutshell, very important, I think, to the feeling of Destiny again. Because without Cade, we don't have a character that levies the heaviness that is the plot now.
Yeah, like I am solid in my belief that he is a stupid idiot who is far too cheerful for his own good, but he's still a good guy.
Are you
Mhm.
saying he's a himbo?
Yeah.
Saint 14
Yeah, I love. To me, he's a gentle giant. He is. I mean, he has to be what
Is
he
that a
has to be
himbo?
this. That Saint 14 that everybody. He's this amazing Titan and he's done all these things. But then you meet him, and this is my Astarte likes him because at the end of the day, he's a nice guy. He walks around. He sings for the children. He loves that they're pretending to be Titans. He feeds the
Yeah,
pigeons.
You must
He's
hold Barb like
You
burger.
must.
Old Borb gentle like hamburger, not like a gun.
but because
yeah,
as a warlock, as someone who respects the world around her, it's no offense, Titans, but it's nice to see a Titan that isn't just like must smash Titan smash. He's got a soft side to him,
Look,
and we like that.
if
He's
you
got
had a
some
punch,
depth.
oh sorry, what's that, Amber?
He's got some depth.
Yes, he
Yes.
has depth, and I love that about him.
He has a lot going on, but he is a himbo.
yeah. Well,
He is a precious cinnamon
Well,
bun and must be protected at all costs.
Yeah, Osiris can
Exactly,
get
well,
bent, though.
Osiris can go, jump into the
Don't
pile
speak
of
ill of his
legal area.
boyfriend.
That's fair. They are definitely.
I would climb its tower. Oh, drifters. Sorry, that's probably for next episode. That's funny.
This is not turning into fucking R34 fan fiction shit.
Honestly, it feels implied the way they talk about each other.
Maybe they're best friends.
That's also fine.
Just very, very close friends.
Very, very close.
Yeah, like that one girl.
They're
that
my
doesn't-
two
Was
uncles.
this the season with the mission in the Crucible map where you got to hear Saint and Osiris and Shax talking to each other?
Yes, this is
Okay.
where you get the exotic sidearm.
Yeah.
I forget
Yeah,
the name of
the,
it.
And that was
Devil's
that
Ruin.
whole exchange was just so telling about how these guardians interact with each other.
Man, I have so many opinions about it.
It was
Most
such a good mission.
Well, the main thing the thing that really got me going was Osiris of all people saying to Saint 14, and this is a direct quote, "Your ego knows no bounds."
Oh my
like,
god, I screamed.
Whom do you think you are?
I just yelled pot, kettle, black at the TV
Bruh.
when he said that.
Osiris baffles me.
But the most important thing you learned from that mission, and I think all of us would agree, is that Shax is not paid enough. That's literally the
Well,
most
there's something
important
else
thing.
you learned from that mission, but that's next episode.
Dude, Shax is he could lobby for himself so easily. He just has to shout at people. He makes them so uncomfortable.
Just walk up to Zaval and be like, I should be paid more.
I mean,
Right.
Go to the consensus.
no.
Zaval was the only-
Shax gets paid.
What was that?
Shax gets paid enough. Shax gets paid enough. His payment is watching idiots in the Crucible slam against each other.
You can't feed yourself on rookies.
Yeah, I know. He can't drink. He can't buy coffee with the tears of
Not with
guardians.
attitude slips.
That's cannibalism, Minnie. No, thank you.
Oh man, it was such a good season. That season of the Dawn, and it also introduced a very interesting thing that it was the corridors of time where we had all of us working
That
together.
whole community puzzle was so good. I had zero part in it. I just watched it happen. But
It was cool.
that was beautiful the way they played that.
And then at the end, we got to hear our own eulogy and see our grave how do you think that affected your guardian hearing Saint 14 talk about how great a guardian you were? Probably pump you up, and then realize, oh wait, I'm buried here. This is
For me, it was just a case of
yeah.
for me, it was just a case of like, well, you gotta die at some point. At least it's a half decent eulogy.
The
I was
party
more
was fine.
Yeah, I was more taken aback that he thought Bastion would be my favorite gun for some reason. They gotta buff that really high if they're gonna make me want to use it. But
Oh no, they don't. Not in PvP.
oh yeah, no, not in PvP for sure. Oh god, that implies that we like Crucible in canon. Like the pinnacle of all of us playable characters loves Crucible, which is
That
why
is
they like
false.
Bastion.
Which is
Well, I mean, I like
for a starting.
I like Crucible. Go stuff yourself.
Well, my character does not like Crucible, but that's just how she is. I mean, my guardian
Mhm.
just thinks that that's a waste of time, and because she could be using her time in a better way, which is why she liked 14 so much, was because it was a really dark time for everyone. It was very depressing. Just think of all those kids that are in the city that they're having to experience like this scary part of their life. And here comes Saint 14, and he's just this giant goofball. He's not just a cheering up for his fellow guardians, but just for the whole city in general. He became a kind of pseudo replacement for Cade. No one can really replace Cade, but in a way, he did come right at the exact moment that we really needed him most, and she really appreciated that from him. Even though he was a big goofball, he really did a lot of cheering up of a lot of people, and that really was very impressive to her.
Humanity really needed a win.
Yeah, we did, and we got it. That was a good win.
But but in relation to finding our corpse, or well, at least our coffin and our eulogy, I mean, the way I see it is this is one timeline. We saved Saint's life after seeing him dead. So, if nothing else, that means we could probably save ourselves. But hopefully, we don't have to go back to Mercury for that, because I never want to go back to Mercury again. I will say, I think Season of Dawn gets a bad rap among some parts of the community, and I think it was actually really good. And although I think a lot of that does not have to do with any of the stuff we try to talk about here, and more due to like gameplay stuff. But I think it was more due to people complaining about being able to get all the good guns with Fractaline. But the Empyrean Foundation was a cool idea that I really liked.
Yeah.
I mean, that also in flavor as well. I think it was a cool idea that Saint was like, yo, give me a bazillion biddies and I'll bring back Trials with a new lighthouse. And we were all like, sick. Get the PvP people in their own little corner, and we never have to hear from them ever again.
I think in universe it was a good way to do it, though. Just it's from a storytelling perspective, Saint comes and he says, "No, Crucible is not enough. Iron Banner is not enough. I've seen some things, and I know some things, and the Guardians are going to need more training than you're giving them. I'm going to start Trials again." I think it was a good way for Bungie to bring it back in universe, in canon, without just being like, all right, we're bringing it back because you all said you wanted it.
Absolutely.
Which brings us to the season where Trials actually does come back. Season of the Worthy brought back Anna and Rasputin. And this felt like an interesting story with more technical issues in the season, and our first in-game world event. So what are your thoughts on Rasputin after this season? Because we learn so much about who Rasputin is as a computer program,
Entity.
an AI.
An entity.
An entity.
I mean, he is technically a living being. He has free will. He has thoughts and feelings and actions of his own.
Yeah, Ghost in there's a mission in Destiny 1 where Ghost says, as a fellow inorganic life form, I'm jealous of Rasputin. He has all this cool stuff, and I live in your backpack.
Oh yeah, I remember that strike.
And
That's
he definitely has free will, and he's choosing to help us. I liked that Zavala finally kind of came around in this season and
Took him
realized that
fucking long enough. Sorry.
I mean, it's not wrong.
I know you're not wrong, but
I still have my strong blue boy opinions. That has not changed
no,
much.
but at least he's finally coming around to realizing that it's okay to ask for help and that maybe Anna was right, because I feel like this Anna was wrong thing stems back from all the way to like the what is it,
Well, they used to be on a fire team, and
they
the
used to be
war
on a
of the
fire
Sixth
team, wasn't it?
Front.
Yeah, Six
Yeah.
Fronts. Yeah, that's what I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, I mean
That's what
that's his
died.
Anna is wrong stems back so far, and he's finally coming around to the idea that okay, maybe people can change.
He definitely changed from D1 to
He's-
D2.
But yeah, and he's changing, which is he is experiencing personal growth, and I like that because I'm starting to like Zavala more as a character now.
I definitely have started this season, but last season, boy howdy, still not up for it. Because if nothing else, Warmind made me sour on Zavala a lot, and Forsaken did not help. So the wound isn't open, but it's not healing properly. But Zavala has it took Rasputin pulling up an image of the outer solar system with a bunch of bad shapes.
Literally, like, this is what I was going like, where's your proof? You want my proof?
Here,
Poof, there.
Yeah, not to mention him playing audio recordings he saved from the original collapse. Because it seems like Rasputin regrets prioritizing his own safety rather than taking care of business if he could have.
See,
Go ahead, Minnie.
Go on, Chrissa.
Well, the thing I find interesting about Rasputin is that he was programmed to protect humanity without any sort of guidelines for what that entails. So he's probably protecting himself because he feels he's the best protector of humanity. And so it still fulfills his programming to be like, okay, I can protect one human to maybe two humans. And I've protected humanity because I'm still here to protect them.
Yeah,
that
makes sense.
Program logic.
Yeah. So I'm not the biggest fan of Rasputin. I like the weapons I got for him.
Mhm.
I very much like the assault rifle and shotgun.
That shotgun
But-
was really good.
It doesn't make up for the things we found out. That's like, right, once everything's blown over and we've dealt with the big problems at hand, then we can sort out how Rasputin is going to make things right and how we're going to deal with him.
He did a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
Which, before we get into that, the first big in-game world event was the Almighty getting blown up by Rasputin before we found out too much about what he actually did. So did your Guardians watch the event?
Watch is a strong word for most of it.
Me too, Minnie.
As from a player perspective, it needed to be like the last 10 minutes and not an entire 2-hour block of my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From an in-game perspective, it was
Being
really
on jets
cool
of water
that
sounds like.
the community came together like that and we got to see this actual thing happening, and it did affect the tower and it did affect the world, but damn, Bungie did not need to be 2 hours long.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad I missed it by being at work that day.
You can just go on YouTube and watch the important
Exactly.
5 minutes.
It's a cool idea. That's the thing I will give them, is that it's a cool idea.
Yeah, like the technology and concept, you've got it nailed down. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Could you not just
Yeah, the execution was kind of...
put fast forward on?
Yeah, I get that the physics, the realistic real-time physics, that's how long it would take.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a video game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, video game logic is allowed to break the rules.
Right.
They've already messed up with real physics anyway in the rest of the game. Why couldn't they have done it in this instance? They
Yeah,
don't
no.
need to be so strict in this instance and then just totally throw it out the window for the rest of it.
I've
Yeah, I
never
get the-
tripped over a rock and died. How dare you, Amber?
I mean, not at like 70 miles an hour at least.
Definitely never done that.
Nope, never, not a single time.
But yeah, it was a very cool event, and it
Mhm.
was neat to see so many people coming into the game for it.
It
If there's
was. Go ahead.
if there's one thing I liked is that it seems like the execution of this event was the issue, which is probably the most easily fixable part of it.
Yes.
Because I mean, I am cool with them giving a little bit of leeway of like, okay, here's like 15 minutes for people that are showing up late. Then we're gonna blow it up, but not like 2 hours.
Yeah, no,
That was a little much. But I am. That was definitely the coolest thing to happen related to the Seraph Towers. Because boy, howdy.
yeah, that I got so burnt out on that season. Like I think I got
Hmm.
to I got my 100, and I was just like, and I got
Yeah.
the like this, the I got like all I activated all the towers or all the bunkers, and I got my season 100, and I was like,
Yeah, I just gave up and played the entire Witcher 3 for most of that
yeah.
season after I got
I'm trying
the
to remember where Final
full
Fantasy
season
VII
pass.
came out in this.
Oh yeah.
Well,
But yeah, it
there
was just
was at least
not a good season.
there was at least one other thing that people return for, which is the lie quest to get
Yeah.
Fellwinter's lie.
Yeah.
What are your guardian's thoughts on what you learned in that quest? Or do you think that maybe your guardian decided not to go get this shotgun and they don't know what happened to the Iron Lords?
I have very strong as my character has a much stronger tie, in my opinion, to the Iron Lords than most. So, if anyone else wants to go first,
See, like like I got the gun, but I really wasn't like from a gameplay perspective. I got the gun because it was there, and I just tossed it in my vault. I didn't really think too much about it. From a guardian perspective, I see myself as Saladin's young wolf, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have to listen to Saladin. You can be an iron, being an Iron Lord does not mean, I'm not sworn fealty to him or anything like that. If I think Saladin's off the rails, I'm going to tell him, or I'm just going to go do my own thing.
it's a good vibe to have. Saladin should be kept in checks and balances, but so should Rasputin, in my opinion.
Yes.
Which is why my character Rhea in D1, I kind of had the name that I hadn't used a lot. I don't think I've used it on here, where I called her the Crimson Wolf, like as she evolved from the young wolf. And then, so for example, which is why my idealized look for her is the Iron Truage grips. That's the original Iron Banner set from D2 that has like you could do the face paint on those gold wolves, and they have like the little red strip on them. Looks cool. Yeah. So once we found out about Fellwinter and Rasputin's tie and how the events of Rise of Iron were actually a trap by Rasputin to kill the Iron Lords and get Fellwinter back. Yeah, fuck Rasputin though.
Yeah, that was a lot. Like there's probably better ways to go about your goals there, buddy.
Yeah, Rasputin probably didn't really care about the Iron Lords. So to him, it's probably just means to an end, which is a problem. That I don't think he regrets. I think he only regrets that Fellwinter isn't alive still. I don't trust him, basically. I don't trust him or really believe him at this point.
I think for an entity that is able to make its own decisions and has a sense of free will, its sense of morality is in question, because there's just something to be said about an AI that was created to help protect humanity, essentially tiptoeing around its initial reason for design in order to, go about its own purpose that it has decided for itself, which it can do with free will. But I just don't think that we should rely on or even trust Rasputin in any way, shape, or it's one of those things that you just kind of you use what it has because it's helpful, but you really have to be policing it. It's not it's a living being in that it has free will, but it's not a living being in the sense that it cares about the preservation of living things in general.
I think
It's
it's
kind of
been
like Vex, you know, they
Mhm.
to them, killing off a few humans is like, you know, trimming fingernails. They for a few Vex to die isn't big for the whole of the Vex as it would be for humanity. And I think Rasputin kind of thinks of it in that way that it doesn't understand how much of a detriment it was to the whole of humanity.
I
Yeah.
think it's interesting because that is where going back to, how we were talking about how Zavala started to come around, but now we're coming around to this, okay, maybe Rasputin isn't to be trusted and maybe Rasputin
Oh
should
no.
we're turning in we're
Oh
flip
no.
flopping.
I'm the Zavala now.
Yes, you're
No.
the Zavala now.
No.
Sorry, Slips.
Shit. Man, you know what? I'll take it. I'll apologize to Zavala.
Like I said, I'm not Rasputin's biggest fan. He will be dealt with eventually.
I mean, he's you.
Yeah, if we can get yeah, he is on our list of problems to deal with. He just isn't number 1 at the moment.
Problems kind of solved itself for now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got bigger fish to fry.
it ended up being kind of a self-correcting problem.
Sure. I'm sure it'll remain that way definitely for the rest of the season, and I'm not foreshadowing any sort of change.
Oh, it's gonna get worse.
I defer to Anna on anything with Rasputin because she has much more knowledge of who Rasputin is. And I
Absolutely.
do trust Anna to be able to handle and decide and make that decision like, hey, I think Rasputin has too much power, and I think that we need to take Rasputin out. And I'd be like, you got it, Anna. Anything for you, please. Just talk to me some more.
Yeah, that's fair. And Anna's pretty great, and we should
You're
trust
very
Anna.
cool.
Yeah, and I'm
Well,
saying I
Anna
think
also
it might not be Rasputin that Zavala's learning to trust, but Anna that Zavala's learning to trust.
That's fair.
I think that's even better. I don't think that Zavala should trust Rasputin. And I think he was right to Rasputin, but I definitely think trusting another guardian and another person who cares about the preservation of the living beings in our universe is definitely someone is more appropriate to trust than an AI that is programmed to protect those creatures but doesn't necessarily feel the moral need or want to.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Which it seems that the sweeper bots are coming in to clean up. So let's get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for sitting down with me. Where can everybody find you guys? Starting with Lady Ilaros.
I do a Twitch stream. I do a lot of retro streaming. It's twitch.tv/Lady Ilaros. And I'm also Lady Ilaros on Twitter. And most of the other relevant links are on my Twitch page.
All right. Sir Slips.
Hi, I'm Sir Slips. I'm on Twitter and Twitch at Sir Slips. Basically, anywhere that I would be, you could probably find me there as Sir Slips. Occasionally, I do Twitch stuff. Occasionally, I make YouTube content. Not as much lately, but we'll see. Follow me on Twitter for funny little pictures and memes.
Yeah. And then AMD Cranberry.
Yeah, so you can I made a Twitter. It is AMD Cranberry is my Twitter handle. And then you can also find me on PlayStation. Right now I am PlayStationless, but I will have one so we can play together if you want.
And of course, Mini Walk.
Sup, nerds? It's your boy Miniwhack. I have been streaming a lot more frequently recently, but I'm currently so close to finishing my master's degree that that's taken a back seat. But when it's finished at the start of September, I'll be going back to content creation a lot more. And if you just want to see me do some shit posts, just follow me on Twitter. It's at Miniwak. That's MINIWAK, not WACK, WAK.
Hooray on the Masters.
Yeah,
job.
congratulations. That's super awesome.
Congrats, Minnie.
I haven't passed yet. God, I just nearly finished it.
We're still proud of you.
Yeah, that's still you put in a lot of work. I have a master's. I know how much work it is.
Doofa doofa.
And you can find me at Lady Hawkmoon on most things. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next week when we discuss our Guardians further and, of course, the darkness implications. Try not to fall off the tower while we're gone.